CityCast Pittsburgh is supported by Fulton Commons. If you're looking for a gorgeous co-working space with lots of light and some truly wonderfully funky decor, check out Fulton Commons on the north side. The historic but very well renovated old school building is deep in the neighborhood by a park, tucked away but still super close to anywhere you want to be. They've got offices and common spaces. It's perfect for organizations or individuals, and they even have a shared food production kitchen on site. So there's lots of food-related events for their members. If this sounds like your dream co-working space, visit fultonpgh.org to request a tour.
Today on CityCast Pittsburgh, things are really expensive right now. It feels like you have to sell a kidney just to buy a carton of eggs. And with President Trump threatening tariffs on major countries, prices are probably going to climb on everything from cell phones to tequila. If you're looking for ways to save money without completely withdrawing from the world, you are in luck. Because we're bringing back our conversation about the best deals and discounts at Pittsburgh's many cultural institutions. Consider it our guide to taking in shows, museums, and sports games, all without totally breaking the bank. It's Tuesday, February 4th. I'm Sophia Lowe, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. I'm with executive producer Mallory Falk, who is always on the hunt for a good bargain.
Yes, I am excited to be here with you, Sophia, because you are our resident expert for scoring good deals, so I am prepared to learn a lot.
I'm so honored to have that title.
So in the past, you've walked us through some of the best birthday freebies and discounts you can get in Pittsburgh, and then a whole list of places where you can get a meal for just $10. But now you've got something for us that is not food, just in case anybody wants to branch out a little bit.
I do actually also have one more food deal, but I'll save that for the end. For the most part, I found a bunch of discounts for museums, cultural institutions, and cheaper tickets for performances and sporting events.
Incredible. We have such a good museum scene here. I think it's one of the best parts of Pittsburgh, but sometimes tickets can get pricey, especially if you're trying to, go with a larger group. One hack is using the Rad Pass program, where if you're in Allegheny County and you've got a library card, you can get a free or discounted pass to museums and other sites in the city. But those passes are really limited and they can go quick whenever they're on offer. Like personally, I have never been able to snag one, even when I have set an alarm and tried to refresh the page first thing in the morning.
Oh no, I've done it just one time. So yeah, I can also attest that it's pretty tricky. And it's also kind of limiting if a free day happens to be on a weekday.
Right.
So I've done some research for discounts folks can get anytime or just consistently, like maybe same time every month. Caveat that it's probably still good to check out the organization's website because sometimes there's kind of fine print or things change.
Great tip. So where are you taking us first?
I'll start with the Carnegie Museums because those are some of my favorites.
Yes, you have told us many a time.
Yeah, so many times on this show, I've said that the membership is a great deal because you can get into all 4 museums. Like, I have the dual membership. It's $105 per year. So I can go with my partner, and each museum is about $20, $25 to get into. So if I go to all of them, plus, maybe hit a special exhibit or something, it pays for itself. Plus, if it's just me, like I can bring a friend on that dual membership too. So it's also really nice if you have people in town.
Yeah, Sophia, you have definitely convinced me to get the membership because like you said, you earn it back in no time. And a reminder, those 4 museums are the Science Center, the Andy Warhol Museum, and the Carnegie Museums of Art and Natural History. The Art and Natural History Museums are in the same building, so one ticket is good for both of them, which is already a 2-for-1 deal before you've even done anything.
But if you don't want to get a membership, there's a ton of other ways you can get in for cheap. So if you want a half price deal, check out the Art and Natural History Museums during the afternoon on a weekday, because after 3 p.m., the tickets are half off, so $12 a person. The museums do close at 5 most days, so you don't get a ton of time, but on Thursdays, they're open until 8 p.m.
Ooh, okay, so extra pro tip, do this on a Thursday. If you can wrap your workday early enough, that gives you 5 full hours to enjoy the museums. That should be more than enough time to check out the dino fossils and also all of the art. This is super helpful, Sophia.
Yes, and do not skip the gem room in the natural
Yes.
history. They're so pretty. Some of them also kind of look like food.
That's actually my favorite room and maybe like the single moment on a school field trip from K through 12 that is most seared in my brain, like the first time I encountered that room of gems and just stood in awe until an usher had to like physically move me into the next space.
Yeah, I'm just like, ooh, pretty shapes and colors. And then this next deal gets a little more specific. If you are a Bank of America cardholder or employee, you can get free admission the first full weekend of each month.
That is very specific.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of unusual. Usually I'm looking for like a student discount or something, but I do actually know people who have used this deal. It works. It's weird. You're showing your credit card, but you get in.
Yeah, feels a little questionable, but I guess great news for all those Bank of America households out there. Sad news for everybody who does their banking with another institution.
Yeah, PNC, you're in Pittsburgh. Get on it. Start giving me these deals.
Come on, PNC.
But the same Bank of America deal also applies to the Andy Warhol Museum and a couple other discounts. The Warhol does a 50% off for active military for up to 4 people and free student admission for most colleges in Pittsburgh. It does not include CCAC, unfortunately. And they also do like a go late and get a cheaper ticket kind of sale. So the way it works at the Warhol, you get half off your ticket if you go on a Friday from 5 to 10 p.m.
Ooh, that's nice. Those hours feel a little more realistic to me than making it at 3 on a Thursday, maybe.
Totally.
But okay, so the last museum in the Carnegie system, the Science Center, what are the discounts for that?
$3 off for college students in Pittsburgh, which also, unfortunately, again, does not include CCAC.
I am not loving this discrimination against community college.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why it isn't included if, you're in college taking classes. But this museum does specify that this deal extends to grad students.
So maybe the other ones don't, or it's just not spelled out.
It's not spelled out. I feel like most of the time, if you show up like with a student ID in general, it gets you in. But I guess it's always nice to know beforehand.
Yeah.
There's also half off tickets for active military and veterans. So there aren't any afternoon discounts at the Science Center, but they do have a teacher discount where preschool to 12th grade teachers get in free once a year. This applies to teachers in Pennsylvania, but also a couple of other surrounding states.
Okay, I have to say, as someone who's married to a college professor, it always bums me out a little that teacher discounts here generally seem to apply just to K-12 or I guess preschool to 12. Like we've tried to access a teacher discount before and it doesn't seem to go up to college. In other places I've lived, a teacher discount meant anyone who teaches, like anyone who is imparting knowledge to the next generation gets in. But we are such a big college and university town that I wonder if extending these discounts to professors would just like bankrupt these museums or something.
Well, the way the Carnegie Science Center framed it, at least, was like you can get free admission and prepare for your next field trip. So I don't know if college professors are taking their students to the Science Center.
Got it. That makes more sense.
Although I feel like it really would be fun to go as a college student and have like an all college student night. They should do that.
They absolutely should.
They already have 21 plus nights, so make something for college students too.
Yeah, you got to get that 18 to 22-year-old demo in there. Anyway, we have gone through all of the Carnegie museums, so let's move on to other museums that have good discounts. I've actually got one for you, Sophia, because personally, I'm very excited to take my kid to the Children's Museum, maybe once she's like a smidge older and can appreciate it more. So I have been looking into this one.
Fun. I haven't been to the Children's Museum in Pittsburgh, but as a kid, I went wild at whatever children's museum my parents took me to. I think maybe in Philly, there was like this giant sandwich toy where like you could sort of get in and like layer the cheese and lettuce and bread on you. Those places are really fun for kids.
Sophia, your like love of food started very young, it sounds like.
I have a strong brand.
You were drawn straight to the sandwiches from a young age.
Exactly. So what happens with the Children's Museum? How do you get in for cheap?
Okay, so first off, children under 2 get in for free, which once I learned that made me want to like move up my timeline for bringing my kid so I can get her in for free as many times as possible before she turns 2. Also, adult tickets are typically $19 and children's tickets are usually $17. but active duty military can get $5 off tickets for up to 4 people. And also, if you have a AAA membership, you can get $1 off of a ticket.
Ooh, I have AAA, so I should look into those perks.
Yes, finally something to take advantage of. Then there's also the Museums for All program, where if you receive SNAP benefits, so you have an Access or Access EBT card, you can get into the museum for just $3.
Ooh, that's a really good deal.
And it turns out that card can also get you discounted admission to a bunch of other places. There's a map that shows all of them. We'll include it in our show notes, but this includes places like Phipps, the Mattress Factory, and the zoo. But back to the Children's Museum, the best deal of all is there are a few days where the museum is totally free for everyone. So keep an eye on their calendar of events if that's something you're interested in, because it changes up.
That's really great, too. Based on when I've gone to free days at museums, though, they usually get crowded pretty fast. So if you're able, I think paying a lower price might be a better experience, or like going early, maybe towards the end of the day, or whenever nap time for kids is.
Great advice. Today's show is sponsored by the Frick Pittsburgh Museum and Gardens and a new award-winning tour of their historic home, Clayton. It's called Gilded, Not Golden, and this is unlike any tour you might have taken there in the past because it really gets into the complexities of Henry Clay Frick's story and legacy, like his role in the Homestead Riot and his lasting impact on our environmental health. It all focuses on the year 1892, when the riot happened, when Frick was almost assassinated, and when he mourned the loss of 2 of his children. I got to go on the new tour recently, and I was surprised by the way it started. You step into that glorious entryway and hear music from the orchestrion, that giant machine that sounds like an entire orchestra. It sets a very grand vibe. But as the music played, our tour facilitator told us how this one item was worth years of wages for a steelworker. And it became clear this tour wouldn't shy away from topics like wealth inequality and labor struggles. History is complicated, and that's what the Frick wants to share with you. The Frick's new signature tour of Clayton, Gilded, Not Golden, is now open for the season. Get tour tickets and learn more at thefrickpittsburgh.org.
Ready to conquer your next big challenge? Make 2025 your medal year by signing up for the Dick's Sporting Goods Pittsburgh Marathon weekend of events. Happening May 3rd and 4th in Pittsburgh, it's more than a marathon. Choose from a marathon, relay, 5K, and more. And if you prefer walking, join the popular half marathon walking division. The Pittsburgh Marathon isn't just about running. It's about community, celebration, and pushing yourself to new limits. Over 300,000 fans will be cheering you on through the streets of the Steel City. And the hardest step is the first one, signing up. A registration today is a commitment to your future self. Join the excitement by visiting thepittsburghmarathon.com. Use CityCast15 to save 15% off any event registration. That's thepittsburghmarathon.com. And again, use that code, CityCast15, for 15% off any event.
Okay, so now that we've covered a bunch of museums, let's move on to other cultural institutions, somewhere to watch a show. Sophia, you mentioned you had some discounts on performances, so tell us about those.
So the Pittsburgh Ballet Theater has a bunch of discounts. For example, there's a university discount for college students, faculty, and staff. So Mallory, at least one deal your partner can take advantage of.
Ooh, okay. Great to know about.
Good. I'm glad you've got something. And then if you're a college student specifically, you can get any seat that's available for $26. Just bring that ID to the box office.
That's really cool. So if a prime seat is open, one of the more expensive ones, you could get it for less than $30 and you don't have to try to skimp and save to sit all the way in the back. That sounds great.
Right? And then there's a 20% discount for first responders. So that includes EMTs, police officers, and firefighters. And then 20% off for military. So that applies to active duty, reserves, National Guard, veterans, and retirees. These are all the fine print things I was talking about.
Gotcha.
And then one final discount for the ballet is a senior discount for rush tickets. Are you familiar with these?
I am, solely from trying to get into Broadway shows for cheap, or at least cheaper, when I've visited New York. That's where I encountered this concept.
Broadway shows are also a scramble to get tickets for, hopefully easier in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, a little less demand here, I would think.
Yeah, I'm assuming a rush ticket works pretty much the same way, though, which means you're buying your ticket on the same day of the performance, pretty much right before the show. For the Pittsburgh Ballet Theaters, that means seniors can get 50% off a ticket 90 minutes before a show starts.
Okay, so this is just open to seniors.
Yes, this is.
Okay, part of me is a little salty about that, but I also guess, if you're retired, then you may have a little more flexibility in your schedule to just drop everything and see a show at the last second. Are there any other spots in the city that do these rush tickets?
Yes, one place is City Theater. Again, the price of a ticket varies based on performance. I checked out a few of their upcoming shows, and the starting price point ranges from 25 to 40. Unfortunately, this rush ticket also applies to seniors. It's 62 and up, and it's $25 for a ticket. You need to buy it on the day of the performance, either over the phone or physically in person at the box office. Can't do it online, unfortunately.
Okay, so is there anything out there for younger people?
Yes, City Theater has these really varied discounts, and they also have a $20 ticket for anyone under 30. So that's fun for me. You do need a call for that too. But a couple other great deals that apply to everyone. Pick your price previews and pay what you want.
Okay, what's the difference there? Is that, whether you're going to a preview show or a regular show?
Yeah, I'm guessing based on the name, Pick Your Price previews apply only to previews. I didn't see any previews coming up right now, but the website explains that those Pick Your Price preview tickets start at $20 and then go up. So you should buy these tickets as early as possible if you want to get that $20 price. Then the Pay What You Want applies to Saturday performances at 1 p.m., and there's a limited number of these tickets. So those become available 2 hours before the performance, kind of similar to that rush ticket thing. And then you can buy online or call the box office and then just mention that you're looking for the Pay What You Want price.
Okay, I'm glad we found at least something that can apply to me as an elder millennial, someone who's over 30 but under 62. So we've hit on a lot of museums and shows. I know this one is a little out of your wheelhouse, but I'm sure some of our listeners would appreciate learning about sports discounts.
Yes, definitely out of my wheelhouse, but because I go to any games for the food, you bet I'm just trying to find the cheapest ticket possible to get into a stadium.
It's just an entry point to try the Renegade dog.
Exactly. I'll start with the Steelers. Obviously, you can check if resale tickets go down right before or during a game. That's what I do for concerts or scalp them, but there's a pretty good deal for students.
Okay, students. So I guess that means that you, Sophia, will not be heading to a Steelers game unless you decide to go back to school.
Honestly, yeah. When I was a student and getting into football games for free, too, I simply was not going. But if you are a football fan and a current student, you can get standing room tickets at home games through text message. It's $50. So you can text student to 888-412-4469 to get notifications about discounts and these standing room tickets.
Okay, even though I've never been to a Steelers game, which is maybe Pittsburgh's sacrilege, I know that tickets for a game can easily put you into like the $100 territory or above. So this seems like a great way to save if you are a student.
And then same thing as a lot of these lower price tickets. I don't think there's a ton of them. Act fast if you want one. So both the Steelers and Penguins have these like student rush programs where students can get discounts. So if you're into sports, it's totally worth signing up for both so you can watch hockey games too.
Okay, what about the Pirates? Please tell me there's something there for non-students as well.
Yes, so the Pirates had the biggest list of discounts, at least that were easily accessible and Googleable. For someone like me who does not have a ton of sports hacks naturally, I definitely recommend going to the Pirates website because there's a pretty long list, but they have, senior discounts, student discounts, military discounts. But a couple other ones I want to highlight are the Family Pack and the Miller Lite Great Taste Ticket.
Okay, I definitely need to know what the Miller Lite Great Taste ticket is. But first, what comes with the family pack?
So the family pack tickets start at $32. There is a 2-ticket minimum, but that also includes nachos, peanuts, popcorn, soft drinks, and water, and all you can eat hot dogs.
I like this in theory. I'm not sure how many hot dogs I need in one sitting, but I'm sure there are people out there that would be just jumping to take advantage of this.
Oh, I would be having my personal little Joey Chestnut moment with this deal. I don't think I'd see any part of the game. I would just be in line constantly for the hot dogs. We tried a bunch of food at a Pirates game over the summer, actually, and have a bunch of recommendations. But I'm guessing, unfortunately, items like crab fries and the specialty hot dogs aren't covered.
Okay, so this is for just like a plain Jane hot dog, maybe get some Heinz ketchup on there, but nothing super fancy.
Honestly, regular hot dog with Heinz ketchup is also delicious. So I'm not upset about it if I'm getting it for $32.
Very fair. Now, I mean, is this Miller Lite one? It's just like unlimited Miller Lite throughout the game. What is the deal here?
No, unfortunately not. So the Miller Lite Great Taste tickets start at $19. They give you early access to the park if that matters to you. It definitely matters to me during a good giveaway.
Yes. Sophia, you got that elusive Hawaiian shirt that all of us can only dream about at a giveaway night last year, right?
I showed up 2 hours early. I don't think I've ever showed up that early for anything in my life. But another perk to this Miller Lite ticket is that your first drink at the Miller Lite landing bar is free. And since drinks at ballparks are pricey, I feel like that's really getting your money's worth.
Yeah, those things can cost more than like a ticket itself. So
I know.
not a bad deal. Okay, so we covered the museums, the shows, the sports, but as promised, you have one more food discount. So what did you find?
Discount on groceries. Woo! It is
Yes.
not my perks at Giant Eagle. Figured people already knew about that one, of course. But the East End Food Co-op has a senior discount on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's 62 and up, 5% off your purchase. Just mention it to your cashier when you're checking out. And, if you're a member of the co-op, there are discounts too, but you do not need to be a member to access the senior discount.
Okay, I'm really excited to experience Pittsburgh as a 62-year-old because it will unlock so many amazing discounts for me. East End Co-op is where I have been known to purchase a Leona's ice cream sandwich on occasion. And so if it's still around decades from now, I can't wait to get that for a little discount.
Okay, I will be asking you to buy the ice cream sandwiches for me because I could eat like at least one a day. I am obsessed with Leona's. That's all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. If you enjoyed the show, please tell a friend, leave us a 5-star rating, give us a review, and don't forget to subscribe to our Hey Pittsburgh newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Talk to you then. I can hear Pistachio licking herself. That's not showing up, right?